Oh, hello, mes amis. Je m'appelle chemin, baguette, croissant, fromage. And that is really all the French that you will hear from me, because I actually have a French person, so to not be too respectful.
Absolutely. Bonjour, ESA. How are you?
Well, I hope everyone is doing good. This will be the first showing of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 during a marathon, which we are very much excited about. We will be running the any percent glitchless expert new game category. So in short, we'll be starting from a new save file on the hardest difficulty, and we will not be doing any glitches. Do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Moirax, French speedrunner on a speedrun Clair Obscur Expedition 33 behind the release of the game.
However, you're more speedrun, like the restricted category that allows some of the glitches, or most of the glitches, but except one big one.
I learned the glitchless, so it's okay, it's fine. I know the run.
I'm losing my totally real mustache here already. Oh no, that can't be right. Anyway, I mean, this run is about to take about 2 hours or so of everything. Oh my god, I'm literally losing everything here. All the French is suddenly leaving my body. Literally. Anyway, we have about 2 hours of this run ahead of us, so why don't we go ahead and get this party going. From a new save slot, like I said, we'll be playing on expert difficulty. And time will start once I confirm this text box. So tech, get ready on it. We'll be doing this in 3, 2, 1.
Let's go.
Baguette.
Baguette.
So thankfully, this is a really new RPG, so we can skip all the cutscenes, which is really nice. Just be mindful, the game released about 2 months ago at the point of recording, so we are still actively routing this game. However, at least the glitchless category is coming to a point where we're not really doing a lot of rerouting anymore. It's mostly about doing smaller optimizations at this point, really getting those seconds and maybe a minute out of certain parts of the game. That may change still in the future. You never know with speedruns. Like we just saw Zeal do a Final Fantasy VII run, a game that is about 28 years at this point, and they found a major glitch like about half a year or so ago. So you really never know, right?
Upscale stat glitch and other things, so little stupid.
Definitely. So take this run at the moment as like a snapshot of where the community has come to at this point in time. Coming up, we have our first fight. It's more a tutorial against Mayel here. On expert, it's pretty simple. We have to attack. Then we parry her counter attack. Her attack, I should say.
Yeah, it's we are not experience based, but it's a turn per turn RPG. So it's really at the old school game like Final Fantasy or other thing, but add active play with counter of parry, and the game are really dynamic about that, because you can dodge the opposite attack, you can parry. Parry is more difficult than dodge, but dodge have a benefit effect to add one attack power supplementary to your character. So and a counter if you parry every hit of the opponent.
Luckily, we actually don't have to counter like every single attack that the enemies throw at us. You would think that at first, because it's so beneficial to do it, because for every hit that you parry, you regain 1 AP, and like I explained, you also get a counter attack if you are able to parry every single hit of one attack. However, the counterattack animations tend to be kinda slow, timing-wise, and they really add like quote-unquote unnecessary damage to the fights. Like the fights themselves at this point are very meticulously routed out. So we mostly there are some fights where we need the damage from the counterattacks, but fewer fights than you might think at first. Also completely screwing up this movement here, getting a bit bonked. Like one thing that is really, I don't dare say like necessarily annoy a lot of people, but it is something that you really have to get used to, is the movement in the game, like in the overworld. Like there are a lot of hitboxes that you can just get stuck on. Like you're literally walking against nothing, but your character won't move for whatever reason. I guess it's like an Unreal Engine problem that other runners of other Unreal Engine games might know about, but it's really noticeable in this game.
For the story, you played with Gustav and Sophie here. Sophie not pass a good day because tonight just disappeared because we have an entity, the paintress, who paint a number on the monolith. We can see here, and this
time like way in the distance where the 34 is.
And this time the number is 33. So where Sophie have 33 years old, so just disappeared, and each year decrease the number. And Gustav go with Expedition 33 for kill the paintress and save the world.
And my apprentices.
It's like a very interesting scenario. Like when I saw the first trailer that, you know, hinted to what the story is. Also, this is unskippable. We have to look at this notebook for like 4 or 5 seconds straight. So it's very important, obviously, for the game. We will never see it again.
No.
Andrea, I should check on my own.
But yeah, like the scenario, like is what me really got interested when I saw the first trailer of the game, because I think it's like something that hasn't been really done in RPGs before, story-wise. I mean, if you really like break it down to like the nitty-gritty, then sure, you know, it is like a post-apocalyptic scenario where people are dying by the dozens. So it's not new really in that regard, but the way they did it feels like really fresh and innovative, you know, and new, and it's like really well done. I think the story has been lauded like from everybody who has ever played the game, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. If you haven't played the game and you know, are a person that minds spoilers and don't want to get spoiled on this story, please do yourself, you know, the service of tuning out of the speedrun. You know, leave your money here for Alzheimer Fund, you know, donate to the charity. But do not spoil that game for yourself, because it is still fairly new, and I think we all, especially in the speedrun community, you know, we agree that this is like a game that only comes around like every decade or so, with the impact that it has had.
It's so sad to not do the game before speedrunning here.
Yes, absolutely. But speaking of that, I think we actually did get a donation just now.
We sure did. We got $25 here from Mr. Baguette, saying, please turn on the French voices. The experience is not the same without.
Well, I mean...
So we arrived to Spring Meadows, the first world of the game. And Gustav is solo because old men are killed the majority of expeditions, sadly. And
already dead.
Yeah. And Gustav just tried to retrieve other people in alive.
It is surprisingly hard to aim when you have shades on.
Yeah, we have in this game shot with a aim shot, and you can target a weak point of a monster for really inflict a huge amount of damage with one shot. Costs just one attack point, so it's really interesting in a certain scenario.
Yeah, there is like, not every enemy has a weak point, but a lot of them has a weak point that you can shoot, and the damage you deal with that is based on their maximum HP percentage-wise. So depending on how much HP they have, they can deal like huge damage, as you saw once I actually hit the weak spot of the Lancelier there with my gun. But otherwise, if you just hit like a normal spot on their body, it just deals normal damage, which is pitiful compared to even your normal basic attacks. So if you shoot, you really want to hit like, you know, the weak spots or whatever it is.
And that's the same thing with the fight you are just here. And we see another member of the expedition, Lune. Lune, there is an... Each character have a specific power, and Lune have elemental ability and generate stains, and stains can. It's not fine.
So normally you would like counter his attack, but this particular attack that he did, it is really hard to see the tell to parry. Like, you'd think, you know, it's one of the first enemies in the game that you encounter, but it's just like, it is so much harder to parry this attack than like attacks from the final boss in the game for some weird reason. And that is like one thing that you actually see from a lot of runners, especially when they do their first runs. Like, everybody really has, you know, their own problems going in this run. Like, you can especially see that during some of the boss fights. You know, some of the bosses, one runner will just blaze through, no questions asked, and like perfect that fight immediately. and then struggle with other bosses, and for the next one it might just be, you know, exactly the other way around. So it's like really interesting to see how people approach some of the fights here, even though, you know, in theory, all of us are doing the same strategies there.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, that was a bit of a time loss that I didn't parry that attack, but it's really minuscule. What you're really hoping for is that Lune crits the Iceland's attack in that fight, because it would actually kill the enemy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, jumping down. So normally this enemy would jump down here, and I'm pretty sure I triggered it. But okay. Like
sometimes just stay on the mountain.
So we're doing a little skip here that is actually allowed in the glitch. It's because you're staying inbounds, you're just skipping up the stones there. So it's really not any kind of glitch or whatnot, it's just an inbound skip.
So we see just before you pick up an Picto. Picto are equipment in the game. You can equip 3 Picto per character. Picto give some statistics and passive effects. It's interesting because Picto need passive effects, and when you do some fight with a Picto, you can
4 fights.
4 fights. You can unlock Lumina. Lumina is passive effects of Picto. You can activate directly on each character, so you don't need equip Picto after that, but you need Lumina points.
Yeah.
It's
nice, got the jump. So basically there is no real equipment in the game like armor or accessory or something.
Yeah.
There is really only these Pictos then you can equip. So, you know, it's not like a traditional RPG where you get like untold amounts of armor and helmets and wrists or whatnot.
So we have here flying monsters. Flying monsters can dodge your attacks, so you need to aim shot for sure to touch him. But are pretty weak on just counter kill him here. And 5 shots normally, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they have like 81 HP. Each of your shots deals 16, so you need, you know, 6 shots. You have 4 AP at the start, so either you want both of the first enemies to attack Gustav, so he has 6, so you can just unload into the third one. Or if only one of the Volusters attacks Gustav, then you have to hit the weak point to deal 18 damage, and then 4 times 16 to deal, you know, at least 81. But if Gustav does not get attacked at all during that fight, you would basically just skip his turn straight to Lune and then just unload with her into the Voluster and would kill her. It's like these minor optimizations that I was talking about that we're currently chasing in the glitchless route. And I'm pretty sure that Zero, I want to say main router for this category at the moment, probably found something new while I was practicing for ESA. Yeah, coming up, we're just gonna go ahead and pick up a couple more Pictos and get ready for the first big boss fight and a major reset point for the run, because you're basically depending on a coin flip if you get a good fight against that guy or not. So it's literally up to RNG to present me with a passable time.
The major good fight need a crit with the overcharge of Gustav. So if you don't have a crit, you can and don't kill a boss directly. The boss trigger after 33 HP under creates armor, or armor is just a huge first time, because armor can breakable with 1 attack or 1 shot. So it's not.
Well, that will help.
It's not nice.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally have like a 48% crit chance, so it's kind of just a coin flip if it hits or not. But you know, RNG being RNG and Marathon Lock being what it is, you never know what you're gonna get.
With the burn on enemy, you raise your critical chance with critical burn Picto we have seen earlier. But yeah, it's a rest conflict.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Okay.
So we want him to cast a spell at the start. Very good, good start.
Yeah. We need AP.
Double Gustav is also very good. So actually off to a pretty good start here.
Yeah. So we begin with powerful. Apply, it's a buff of damage of every character. Immolation apply burn on enemies and inflict damage on every beginning turns of enemies. So it's pretty huge when you stack every burn. A lot. You can stack burn at infinity on enemy. Okay, so here we have minions are summoned by Havoc, but just don't care and focus the boss on major part of the time. Okay, perfect. We arrive at 33%, so you need to be careful of damage we inflict at Evec. Maybe just dodge for just keep the mark and increase damage of overcharge of Gustavo.
So now comes the big moment. If this attack crits, we'd kill the boss, and if not, well, it will take a lot longer. Ah, we got it! Woo!
Woo!
Again!
Yeah. It's really huge, huge first split.
Yeah. Like, again, if you don't kill here, you basically push the health threshold of the enemy so low that it will transition its phase, and then, like Rorik said, it will gain a lot of shields, and it will just drag out the fight, like, a lot. And you basically lose between, like, 30 seconds to a minute, depending on, you know, how bad everything went to that point. So it's really...
The message
like a major reset point, like I said, if you're chasing the world record at this point.
When you run for a huge turn, just a reset, reset fest at his boss.
And sadly, it's not the only like RNG point in the run. Like basically all of Act 1, like all the boss fights for now are just an RNG fest where you want your big hits to be a crit. So you're able to, you know, do exactly that, which is to skip some bosses where they go through extra animations, gain shields or whatever it is, and just loses you a lot of time. Now, thankfully, at one point, we will be able to eliminate the RNG, so to speak, but yeah, that's like basically the second half of the run. At the moment, we're just, you know, advancing through the story and powering up our character, so to speak. Either through leveling or through, you know, grabbing pictos and whatever it is.
And we arrive at Flying Waters. It's, in my opinion, my favorite place of the game. Yeah.
For a lot of people it is. Like, they really heavily showed this off in the first couple of trailers, and like, this whole area made everybody go, oh yeah, this actually looks pretty good. While I, you know, it looks so good, I completely lose my head protection here.
Yeah, you need to pick up Chroma. Chroma is the money of the game. You can purchase a lot of things of the game. You can purchase Picto, you can purchase upgrade for your weapon and other things. So it's pretty useful of the routing of this.
Like normally there would an enemy be here that jumps out of the ground, but for some reason the triggers don't activate, so I have to go for this little backup guy that's a bit out of the way. It's not a big deal, I'm just wondering why it happens. Because normally what happens, like, you know, in the speedrun community, we like to break things. So we have found a lot of glitches and triggers and whatnot like that. And once you'll start looking a little bit under the hood for this game, you notice how much it's just held together by spaghetti code. So one thing we notice is if you trigger, trigger an enemy trigger, you know, where they like jump down at certain points. And you don't reset the game between attempts, that trigger stays activated and doesn't reset. Now, however, obviously I did a fresh boot of my game, so everything, or all the enemies should jump down, so I'm not quite sure what is happening right here. However, it will actually be a problem coming up, because there is a fight that I would want to take, but I guess I will have to go for a backup.
Slow down. We don't know what's inside
yet.
Go ahead.
We arrived to the minor enigmatic place on the game. At the reason we go here, it's because
just look at the environment here. Like, I really love the map. Like, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It is very opulent, you know, but the art decor style and everything. When you come here, it's like, oh yeah, you know. I mean, I'm getting shivers literally right now. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, you go here for just add a member of your team, Mael. Mael,
Did you find me?
really damage dealer on Act 1. With Perseus spells, we are really abuse and done damage on the early game.
So we actually have to reload a save here because one of the last patches introduced a bug where you can't interact with these flags while the characters are talking amongst themselves. We're really hoping that they will fix that at some point, but for now it is what it is. So whenever you see me reload a save point, it is probably because of that. Also, I'm really making meticulously sure that I'm picking the right abilities here, because if I wouldn't, that would be a problem. Okay, should be good. So if you're wondering why I didn't allocate all the stat points here, like I said, like everything is routed out pretty meticulously. So we want to have, you know, specific stat points on specific characters at specific points in the run. So I don't want to overcommit here.
We introduce here another counter of the game, the jump counter. You need to jump a new character for counter just after. It's pretty easy, more easy than a counter classic, and we are happy when you see the type of attack on every fight.
Yeah, the jump attacks really are the easiest one to you know, overcome, because they have the really big tell for them. Everything else, like data miners were able, you know, once the game released on PC and they were able to dig in a bit, to find out that if you're playing on 60 FPS, if you want to get a parry, you have like a 9-frame window to do that. If you're playing on expert difficulty, that is. And if you want to do a dodge, it's like a 13-frame window, if I'm not mistaken. So every time you see me do a parry, just know that I was able to do that within 9 frames of, you know, that window. And there are quite a few attacks that I have to parry.
Yeah. So here we fight Monako. It's a seller in the game, and the shop in this game need to fight fight for unlock the best article
that you can buy.
So here you need the exposing attack, a huge picto. It's mandatory for the future boss fight, because exposing attack apply debuff on enemy when you do classic attack. Vulnerability, you increase 50% damage more in...
So this guy would normally jump down here and I would fight him, but he doesn't because the triggers are broken, so I have to go for backup. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't finished.
It's forging something.
So
they have
intelligence.
intelligence.
No, little tricky jump here to avoid animation. Yeah, nice. Alright. Yeah, we need a really specific.
Oh no, it's because I haven't done that fight. You know what now? Normally I would do the flag here if I had done the fight that I just skipped, but because I did skip, or I had to skip the fight, I can't do that menu yet, so we'll have to go for this backup here.
Yeah, okay.
So let's hope that actually works out, how I envision it. If I can remember how to do this fight.
Yeah, we do on the old route, so...
Right now I have to think. Was it this guy?
So, maybe at the old game.
No, wait, that was definitely not correct.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that is the problem. Like, normally, you know, you route that stuff without having to rely on the backups like that, because this guy should always have jumped down. So I deleted this backup fight from my notes, and I have to remember how to properly do that, because we need the weapons that come from this.
Oh, fuck.
I just have to remember how to do the fight properly. I guess... No, we can just...
Take him down.
This... And you don't fail the wildfire.
Yeah, you need Pierce.
Looks better, and then we kill... No, we do this. Alright, then he dies from the fire. This guy attacks.
Marking shot, skip, and Percy.
Yep.
That.
Take him down.
Okay, there we go.
So we need to explain that, but Mael have a different posture. We need a virtual posture. Virtual posture is so huge because you have a increase of 200% of your damage. So with Percy, you inflict so damage because Percy have a bonus damage if the enemy have a mark of him. So the basic combo is just Mark with Gustav and Percy with Mael on Virtuo's posture.
You can basically almost hit the damage cap of quadruple 9 at this point in the game, and you know we're not far into the game just yet. It just goes to show how powerful this is if you set up your characters correctly already at this point in the game. And keep in mind, this is expert difficulty. This is the hardest difficulty that the game can be played on.
Yeah. Yeah, on the expert difficulty, the bosses have increase of 100% of his life, so it's you need very, very much damage before on this difficulty. Yeah. So we arrive at boss zone, Go Blue, and Go Blue is not so difficult boss with this pattern, but here in Speedrun it's really annoying because we need, again, crit for a quick fight. And it's a really huge difference between if you have a crit on Mael Percy and when you don't have the crit. You could lost more than 1 minute on the fight without crit on the first Percy.
Basically, we need, or we really want a crit on the first Percy, otherwise we might be in trouble damage-wise here. So. Let's see how this goes. Like, it also depends who he attacks on his next turn.
So here you burn the Go Blue for an increase with powerful Swiss Stride because enemy burn pass Mael on Virtuos or Virtuos posture.
Please don't crit. Thank you. If Mael crits him here, he's already getting pushed into his next health phase.
Yeah. But you're pretty happy, I think, focus Mael with no crit. It's a little help for...
Right.
Yeah, you need a classic attack here for apply vulnerability. Marking shot here and Percy.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And we got the crit.
Nice.
Okay, looking pretty good so far.
We are really in a good position here for a quick fight. And here, just simply go for the same cycle for huge damage of Percy. Just make
just adding a little bit of damage in between, just in case one of the attacks doesn't crit and we have to make up for it somehow.
We don't explain that, but we have a stun bar of enemy, and a certain attack can, when the bar is full, apply your stun and pass the enemy turn. Okay, it's...
Yeah, this is exactly what we mean, we were just this short of killing him, and now he goes through all these other animations that just needlessly add time to it, and he just keeps on doing it because his health is so low, and now he basically catches up on all the phases that we skipped so far.
It's annoying because Floros apply a shield of Go Blue, but here it's not so horrible because we can kill. I think with burn, it's okay. Yeah,
like he really had very low health. Bucket. So you can kind of see how the fights are going at this point, right? You're really just hoping for the RNG to make them go in your in your favor here. Like, I could have probably used a couple more shots because I had the AP left over on some of my characters to, you know, add a little bit of damage, and that might have already have pushed him. Yeah. But you're really just hoping for both of the per se's that you use with Mayel that they crit, and then you don't even have to do that because obviously, you know, doing these shots also adds time, and if you get the crit, you just literally wasted the time off it. But we're also just going to do a little bit of walking here, so time to read some donations.
All right, perfect. Before I do that, though, I do want to quickly call attention to a small change we may have made on your flag. We're not sorry. Mine could not be changed. But thank you so much. We have $138 here from Eugenji. And this donor message says, Gustav of the year, less than 3. And they're also redeeming 3 event shirts with this.
Yeah.
Like 1 regular event shirt for the ESA Summer, 1 of the Drippy Goose Birds, and 1 of the John Speedrun shirts. Thank you very much. And we also have a $50 donation here from Kiosk saying Baguette.
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 Baguette. Also redeeming an event shirt. Thank you all so much.
Now we entered Sanctuary. Ancient Sanctuary is something that you can actually completely skip if you play this on restricted or unrestricted. You would have actually gone out of bounds like already before I got here. I'm gonna just do a quick change here to trigger a save, like force a save, because there are no manual saves in this game. It's all auto saves. However, if you change anything with your characters, it triggers a save, and that is how we, you know, create saves for safety for the bosses. Because this guy can be an absolute time waste, especially if he does this attack. Like, out of all the attacks, you don't want to see this attack.
Yeah, it's a worst attack. We don't explain that, but it's really important to not take damage on your character during the fight, because if we do a fight within take damage, we have a bonus XP point on the routing of the game. Are previous for this scenario because it's the faster.
Yeah, you get like a 20% experience bonus if you don't get hit during a fight, which obviously, you know, adds up quite a bit over the course of a game like this.
So we battle against a real enemy here. It's Sakapatat, a creation of Gestral. Gestral creates this enemy just for protect him and their village. So it's not really enemy, but Gestral love fighting against other people. Okay, and here it's exactly the same strategy with per se, with marking shot. It's the same strategy until the Stone Wave Cliff.
Mm-hmm. It's also funny to see because this guy that we just fought is kind of harder than the actual boss of this area. Like, he has way less HP, but the attacks that he does is actually harder to parry or dodge than the attacks from the actual boss of the area, which is really interesting.
Fascinating.
Like, you saw him do the clunky combo, which has like 4 hits in the attack, whereas the boss has a similar attack which only has 3 hits, and they are all very much easier to avoid than that one. It's really interesting. Or at least, like we said before, it is for me. It might not be for you.
I don't really often fight against him because
yeah, restricted skips him.
No, yeah, just skip. So I really love this boss because I don't fight against him.
Yeah, well.
But here...
I mean, they're called Sakamerde for a reason in the speedrun community.
Oh, I love. So here, again, the same strategy. You need to shot with Lune the weak point of the arm behind the shield for broke the arm and broke the arm to simply change the attack do ultimate Sakapatat.
And because Mayel got attacked there, she has a bit more AP, which allows me to get one shot in on that, just so I don't have to be as precise with Lune. And it's just a little bit for my own safety, depending on who he goes for next. Oh, he actually goes for Gustav. It's actually good. But yeah, you need 2 hits on the glowing spot on his arm there.
Yeah, 1, 2.
There we go. Because I already got 1 in with Mayel, I only need 2 with Lune there.
take him down.
There we go, damage cap. Achieved.
Pretty gifted today, yeah. It's a great song.
Pretty good so far.
You need
Also, the
another-
music is just excellent.
Yeah, all music of this game is so huge. You don't. You need another Percy. Yeah. Just turn it so you pass turn on stack up at that. Apply vulnerability market on Percy and no.
Very good.
Very good.
We got the coin flips that we needed. A baguette! And now we're on to Jessel Village, the first and pretty much also the only town, I want to say, that is actually in the game where you can go ahead and talk to NPCs. And they are an interesting sort of
Interesting
people.
is the world, yeah. The Gestural Village. You need help for across the sea, and so you have a Gestural Village because we have a Gestural friend. So if you say him. Golgraz, the chief of Gestural people, can help you maybe. So you go here. We teach some abilities here on Mael because next fight are 1v1 fight. So you just choose Mael for that because the character we inflict the most damage in 1v1 in the first and two turn on the fight. So here Golgara say you need to prove your might for you can help you. So.
Yeah, the Gestrals, they really just want to fight whenever they can, which is also why you have the opportunity to fight every single merchant that you come across. Because they're all Gestrals.
Yeah.
Before we actually do the tournament, I'm going to actually lose us a little bit of time because I want to show one thing off. Because, you know, the game is also a bit memey at points. And I want to see if the audience knows this one.
Yeah.
Anybody? Do you know this one? Ever seen this before? Yeah?
Yeah. There's lots of... honestly, there's a lot of reference here.
Yeah, it's like, you know, the game is pretty serious all in all, but it just puts in these little things every now and again. It just, you know, lightens the mood a bit, which is definitely needed at some point. The game definitely knows when to throw in some levity for it all. But yeah, now we have the arena fights. You have to go through 4 fights in total.
Yep. Same strategy. So for the 4th fight, just apply burn and use spell increase burn damage. I don't remember the name in English, sorry.
Dégagement.
Yes, dégagement.
Now, the nice thing is about these arena fights, your opponents are hard-coded in a way that the first 2 turns they get, they will always use the same attack. So, because they also will not get any more attacks if I play correctly, I know exactly which attacks they are going for, which makes this go by pretty easy, and you can also like really just prepare for what they're gonna do. So what you're really hoping for is for more crits from Mael to, you know, potentially kill them a little bit faster, but...
Yeah. It's not mandatory, but helpful.
Like for example, yeah, you can already kill the enemy here. Sometimes if you don't deal enough damage, you have to wait for their turn to come around, so the burn proc actually kills them, which, you know, loses a little bit of time. It's really not big of a deal, but it does add up like it always does.
Ready to parry.
So you, I don't talk about that, but you can think There's multiple patterns of enemy, and sometimes the patterns are the same and predictable, and sometimes it's just RNG. So there is some fights like Prentress, they are so predictable, and other just fucked up sometimes. So here you fight against Ciel.
I don't trust that attack. So I have to win this fight, otherwise the run is dead.
Yeah.
Yep. We can quickly do this. Because of course it would happen in this one, where we can quit out and see where this post is. Because the problem is, the last fight against Ciel there, if you lose it, she wins the tournament, and you get a specific weapon for her. However, that weapon is completely useless for us in the speedrun. So we really want to win the tournament with Mayel, because her weapon is like super good, and is an absolute necessity for every boss fight that we are ever going to use her in. So.
Medallion just actives the virtual posture on mine on the first one. It's so
yeah, it's like that marking card attack. I really don't like it. I've never really learned to parry that properly. I just hope she doesn't use it. Which, you know, is not necessarily the best thing, but it is always. Because the thing is also, if you proceed after that fight, it does an auto-save, which overrides the save before this. And since you can't do manual saves, well, you're just fucked. Just gonna go ahead and try this again.
Just take your time and
Let's dance.
not necessary. So here, for example, Ciel have 3 attacks, and they do 3 attacks. You don't know which attack do it the first dot. GG.
Because that's also the thing, you know, we're playing expert difficulty and we're really not increasing our defensive capabilities like at all. So we are, you know, not only vastly under-leveled, but we're basically in one-shot territory for all of our characters, like all throughout the run. Like, it was interesting that I was actually able to tank 1 hit of Sealed Fate there in the first attempt. But yeah, like, we will very quickly go into the territory, like, at least when we are starting to be in Act 2, where every single attack that I don't dodge or parry or otherwise avoid, my character will just die, and that fight is done and have to restart. So this is like a very volatile run, which is also why the estimate is a little bit higher, I want to say, or as high as it is. And I forgot to do the thing again. Like, this is one thing.
You not have my
yeah. It's like one of the things that got rerouted a bit, because usually what we do as soon as we get into Gestural Voyage, we would go to a merchant and buy a couple things.
Feeling better?
However, with the new route that we have here, we don't have enough chroma to be able to afford that stuff. So what we do is we do that shopping after the arena. However, this was a recent reroute, and my muscle memory just hasn't really caught up to that. So I always forget it when I leave Gestural Voyage to go over here and buy a very much needed Picto.
Oh yeah.
Like, without that Picto, we would just stay in RNG hell for the rest of the run, and it would not be nice.
Yeah, this Picto is critical moment. Critical moment increase your critical rates by 50% if you are under 30% of HP. So basically the strategy is set up your character below 30% HP before the fight, and just arrive to have 100% of critical rate, so you crit each time.
Yeah. So this is basically the point in the run where RNG is starting to take a huge backseat, because we will now be able to basically hit 100% crit chance on the character that we need it on, which for now is going to be Mayel. But soon that will change.
Yeah. So here we go to the SK nest, because Golgrasse knew SK can help you to cross the sea. SK is a...
Mon ami.
Mon ami is a huge huge character. It's so cool. Yeah.
I think SK is really the favorite of everybody playing this game, for sure. Okay, let's see. Just gonna go through these menus slowly, like I said, to make absolutely sure I'm actually grabbing the right stuff, because if I were to mess up any of this, we would be in huge trouble.
So here you teach very useful, very useful capacity. You have lightning dance on Loon. There is abilities mandatory for deal damage for the major part of the run, because lightning dance have specific things. You add a hit for each hit.
Each crit.
Crit, yeah.
So it has like 6 hit base, and if those crit, it goes up to 12.
So just you double the amount of damage. It's so huge. And
Are you okay, Maya?
yeah, it's very, very powerful at this moment.
And then we have Intervention, a skill that basically breaks this game in half.
Yeah.
So one thing you have to keep in mind, like I was one of the first people, if not the first, to start routing this out for the speedrun, and I did not pick up this ability. I kind of, probably didn't see it in the skill tree or didn't think it was that, powerful. So I started routing with that. And, a couple people followed suit, and we had like a couple different routes vying for contention or for viability for, optimizing the speedrun as far as we could. And then Zero Lead came in. Some of you might know him as a very prolific Psychoden runner and also Final Fantasy 13. And he basically, had an intervention with all of us about the intervention skill on CL, and basically not only reroute the game, but really, pushed for us to go that route. And the first time I was using his route over mine, I already saved like half an hour or so. It was ludicrous.
Yes, so
how good that part actually is, or that skill actually is.
So obviously you go for Medallion on mile for Vitros on the first turn, and just burst François extremely rapidly.
He whose every step shakes the foundation of the world. The problem is he never takes a single step in his life.
So here you break shield, but it's not active the max, so it's not a problem for Percy, who just one-shot François.
And that was literally a one-shot, if you discount the setup that we had to do, and that just shows you how powerful, not only the setup that we have is, but just the whole. I mean, it is the setup, but that you can really just one-shot an enemy that is, by all rights and purposes, labeled as a boss fight.
If not, who else?
Force is powerful of Medallion. Just watch unrestricted category. You don't have Medallion and just pass a lot of time on front.
Yeah, that was also the thing, when I started routing this game, I was like, no, I don't want to have to, win the tournament. I'm just going to lose to CL and not get Medallion for my route. And I'm just going to, route around it somehow. But the weapon is just so good that we're like, it just is mandatory for the route, sorry. So we have to win that duel in the tournament against CL. But now on the flip side, is if you lose the fight, well, you do have to, quickly restart the game before it does an autosave, or you have to do most of the tournament once again. So, like I said, the run is pretty volatile. So you have to be really confident in your abilities, and you have to really practice this a lot.
So here we go to the entry just with the flag, because flag has to TP another flag, and it's quickly to just walk, run on. So.
It saves about, I want to say 20 seconds or so over just walking out of the area. However, you have to have physically had contact or used a flag to unlock it for fast travel, and that will be very important later on in the run, for one thing.
So you have SK, but SK can't swim because not have the stone for that. Don't ask Christian.
He needs his stones, people. Okay. He's a stoner at heart.
Oh,
sounds kind of wrong, honestly. He does like wine, though. Okay, here we're actually going to do our first upgrades of weapons specifically.
I hope we can trust him.
And nothing else so far.
Well, at least we can upgrade our Pictos.
Right.
So it's okay because the drop on elements for upgrade weapon are always the same on the bosses. It's not RNG, so it's
It can be a little bit RNG though. Like sometimes you can get a bit more, but it's not needed, thankfully.
But what are you doing here?
I guess I just failed that QTE with Looney.
Obviously, you need to have only 1 HP on Loon for activate critical moment. When you have a killed character on your team at the end of the fight, just revive with 1 HP. So pretty easy to set up correctly your HP.
This will basically be like a mandatory thing that we do before every boss fight from now on, that we put 1, 2, or 3, or all of our 3 characters in critical health to, you know, get the benefits from critical moment or even other pictos that we will pick up.
So we arrive at the end of Act 1, Stowaway Cliffs. See Gustav, because not here for so long, sorry.
Spoilers! Oh. But yeah, also everybody, get ready to say hi to a very, dear friend of ours. He's a bit shy, so he won't be there for long. So everybody say, where is he? Hi, Bam Bam. Bye, Bam Bam. Like I said, he's very shy.
Yeah. So here you need to pick up a lot of things during the pass of the level. Chroma and a huge picto. Don't remember the name anymore. First strike, yeah. I play in French, sorry. First strike is really huge because first strike permits to begin the fight with the turn of character we have first strike, and because we are under level the majority of time, just boss attack before you, so permits just to set up more quickly.
And that's like really the thing about, like, it literally forces your character to go first, no matter what happens. Even if an enemy were to, back attack you on the field, your characters would still go first. So it also works in boss fights. So ideally, we want to have first strike equipped on every single character after a point. So we always go first with our whole party before any boss can get a single turn in. It's super powerful. And on top of that, it has a hidden ability where it increases all of your damage by 10% as long as you have it equipped. It is nowhere cataloged. The game doesn't tell you about it, but it does. Like, we have tested it. The same is true for Dead Energy 2. Not Dead Energy 1, not only Dead Energy 2, Sweet Kill, and Teamwork. Like, all of them have like a hidden 10% damage modifier. For whatever reason, we don't know why it is there, but it has been there for all of the patches that the game had received so far, and we surely hope that it will stay that way, because otherwise we might be in a bit of trouble and have to reload a couple of things again. But at the end of the day, it would be just how it is, but it is very interesting that it is there.
Yeah, you play on a console, so you are on the current patch, but a lot of people run on PC, play on down patch, because there is a lot of advantage we can see at the end of the run to play on the oldest patch.
And not anybody?
Yeah, and not only for the glitch, obviously the same on glitches. Okay, so just running here. It's a little long passage of the game.
Yeah, it's like, when you play this game casually, like, just to get, if you just follow the critical path, like, straight through all the areas, doing no side quests or whatever, it probably takes you about, I want to say, 20 to 30 hours to get to it, and we finished this game in around 2 at this point. If you were to play, like, the any % unrestricted category, we finished the game in about 55 minutes nowadays.
Yeah, it's... You can just overcap the characteristics, so just you aim shot all the boss. It's so stupid.
Like, there's for reference, normally the stat limit in anyone, like, a might, luck, agility or so, is 99. We can literally overflow it to like the tens of thousands.
Yeah, the game not taking count the stat before an upside 99, but weapon do that. So it's the first time we think it's not useful, but
It is.
it is. Yeah.
All right, coming up against another run killer boss, I want to say. The big end boss of Act 1.
Lampmaster, it's in my personal opinion the worst boss of the game. Their pattern really hard to learn, in my opinion. Difficult visual cue, difficult audio cue. There is 2 phases on the boss.
Again, just making absolutely sure I have the right stuff equipped here. And good for a moment. Yes. Better.
Yeah, you need exposing attack on this area. So there is 2 phases on these bosses. We will see the first use of lightning dance on Luna now. So for the beginning, just the goal is generate attack on Lune for have increase the damage of lightning dance. You need 3 specific attacks. So you need Immolate on Icelands in my memory. Yeah, it's that. And these 3 attacks increase the damage of lightning dance. So here, just intervention Luna for she played directly after and you need an attack for Venerate. Intervention is so powerful because you Lune can play instantly and gain attack powers. Just so useful. So here powerful for increase damage again. And here go for lightning dance and just
Lightning dance doing lightning dance things.
yeah. So the same thing for the phase 2. You have already 2 attacks generated now. So flying combo here.
Okay.
You don't need a counter here? You don't need an attack one?
Nope.
Okay.
Just have to not mess it up.
Energy tint. Energy tint is an object you can use for increase AP of character by 3. So, in the first. Okay, you have generate attacks. And go for Let Me Dance. And we can see it just full crit and just kill the boss. Yeah. GG.
Again!
And it's the end of the
First act of the game.
first act of the game, yeah.
I mean, not quite yet. We still have this fight to go through. And Gustav, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's a scripted fight, so you could just pass your turn.
You're not here to talk, you're here to fight. Oh my god, Gustav! He's throwing for content?
Oh!
What is he doing? Oh no, again? But yeah, as Warwick's just said, this is a scripted fight. You literally can't really do anything, so we're just gonna head and pass our turn
Get us up there.
until it's over. But yeah, like Landmaster is like really dangerous because he's just this flying spaghetti monster of doom. And like all of his attacks are like really hard, not necessarily to predict because you know it tells you which attack he's going for, but just the visual cues of them coupled with the audio cues, they're just a little bit off.
Yeah.
And it's just really hard to get this going. Like, he really is a run.
Lot of arm you don't see very well when attack comes. So yeah.
Like it's really hard to see which attack he is actually attacking you with if you don't know, which attack he is really going for. So it's like really hard to learn. Like he is really one of the bosses that you just have to spend hours on to learn what you have to do, and it's still can kill your runs really easily. So the fact that we got him first try makes me really happy actually. Especially because, he also went for Lune, and Lune is the character that we only have 1 HP on, so if he had hit me once, everything would have been over and I had to restart the fight. If he had gone for any other attacks, any other character, they can survive at least one hit, which gives you a little bit of a safety cushion. It's not big, but you know, it's at least there. But if he attacks Lune, it's just literally non-existent.
Yeah.
Like if he had gone for the other multi-hit attack on Lune, I would have been very worried.
So now we have Verso, who replaced just Gustav. So we have...
Spoilers, everybody.
Yeah. No, it's here at the screen. So yeah, there's the same abilities we can see of Gustav, but not have the overcharge specificity. Verso have rank A, B, C, D rank. It begin at rank D on.
It's basically like Devil May Cry.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, just that you increase the rank for increase damage. It's pretty simple. And we have a bonus with a certain attack with certain ranks. And we have a specific interesting attack on Verso. It's Berserker Slash, because Berserker Slash inflige damage if Verso has more Verso have a little HP, more attack is powerful. So it's perfect.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So the second attack of the Chalet always goes for Verso, which is perfect, because we want him dead at this point.
Yeah.
He betrayed us!
Oh.
Not really.
The same thing as Lune, just 1 HP after the fight, so Berserker Slash inflicts so damage.
Yeah. Like Berserker Slash really is an ability that deals more damage the lower your HP is. However, it also gets like another huge damage boost if Verso is actually at 1 HP. I think it's like 9 times the damage or something crazy like that. So you will see what his damage output will be in just a moment.
Yeah, but you really need that for the boss we arrive at the end of Forgotten Battlefield. Because this boss is really annoying and pretty RNG.
Yeah, the Dualisti, the boss fight coming up, is one of the most technical fights in the speedrun, because, like I said, at this point, we have eliminated RNG on our side, but now it is up to enemy targeting RNG. Like, for the coming fight, we basically want Dualisti to always attack Verso, but since we have 3 party members out, obviously we only have like 33% chance roughly for Verso to get targeted. So our odds are not the greatest to get the best fight out of this, but if we do get the best fight, it saves about 40 seconds to a minute or so. So it's another like really big reset point at this part if you are shooting for a world record in the category, sadly.
Yeah. Honestly, Ciel is okay choice for the first, but Lune is catastrophic.
Yes, you definitely do not want Lune to get targeted. Like, if he targets Lune, like, oh god, you are in trouble. You might as well just reset, honestly.
Yeah. So here, little phase of purchase, you need a Picto inverted affinity. A really interesting Picto, because raise your damage by 50%, apply a debuff inverted, damage you when you use heal objects or abilities, but don't care about that. You never heal no characters, so just take the damage boost and go.
Sorry, menus tend to be a little bit slow because I'm making absolutely sure that I'm doing the right thing, but like I said, there was a bit of a round change and my muscle memory just isn't completely there yet with it.
So pray for Verso targets.
Yeah, I think I just say he's like a damage cap all around. That was too early. But it wasn't a good attack, so I was like,
yeah. Error is a very punishment here. You need to be perfect at this fight.
I mean, at least it was the very first attack in the fight, so yeah, it's like easily, or not a big time loss at least. Like if it was at the end, it would be way worse. Yeah, it was like an okay-ish attack for him to do, but obviously we want the Verso single targets so he can't counter-attack.
Get ready.
Oh,
Yes.
It's really bad.
Yeah, you know what? Might as well just reset because this is like really bad. The thing is, you want to get Verso or CL targeted here because you need the AP of the parries. Lune is basically just there for the show and chugging AP tints on the other two characters, but you really need them to get targeted at least at the start so you can get your AP management going.
Yeah, just use energy tent with limits. And you can see we have a damage cap here.
Oh my god, dude.
Oh, really unlucky.
Okay, let's just see what we can do here.
Yeah. So I'm not backup in my mind, but the strategy here is just babysit Verso for Berserker Slash and just go. Okay. There are two phases here. The second phase is more difficult with pattern of Dualist.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's cool. Gain AP on CL for intervention just later. For
you know, we can,
yeah, it's
it won't kill, but I guess we might as well just go for it.
Okay.
It really doesn't matter too much. Like, we could stall here because he is still, you know, above 50% health, but it really doesn't matter that much, honestly, at this point.
Yeah. It's for skip this cinematic. But,
Not impressed.
okay. Don't talk about that, but when the screen become...
Oh, I actually killed him. Okay, there we go. Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't think it would kill, honestly.
it's cool with gradient attack. You don't have to parry any hits for the counter, so it's pretty nice.
Although this is an unskippable cutscene, but goddamn, it is so good. Like, Dualisti is really one of the most cinematic bosses, like, in this game, like, period. Like, you know, this is, like, really one of the emotional low points for the party here with, you know, just what happened to Gustav and Verso taking over and them looking for a place to go ahead and, you know, lay Gustav to rest.
Yeah, it's...
And, there's a lot of heavy stuff going on at the moment, and, you know, this guy just trying to absolutely ruin your breakfast. and you're not letting him. It's a really powerful moment if you let the scenes play out.
Yeah, and you are really attached of the character of the game. Yeah.
But I think we also have a donation that we might read at this point.
We sure do. Thank you, Baguetchma. We have $2 here from Behelmeth saying, "Let's go, Baguette team. Good luck."
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. So here you have a really emotional cinematic. Obviously, you just keep it here.
It is a speedrun after all.
Yeah. We have a drop on Dualist. Some interesting things. We have Dualizo and Verso weapon. You have for effect to second turn if you go for auto attack with Verso, and the combo attack picto we permits to inflict a second attack when you classic attack. So the combo with Dualizo and combo attack is really huge.
They really just, you know, combo nicely with each other. Okay, I'm going for more upgrades here because, you know, we're starting to absolutely need them.
So you use Scholar of Lumina for raise the point of Lumina just for activate more passive effects.
You can kind of think of it like, you know, Final Fantasy IX, if you have played that, where if you had equipment equipped for a certain period of time to get enough AP, you would then be able to get that passive effect of the equipment on that character whenever you wanted to by slotting in the gems. I kind of forgot what they were called, especially in the game. But it's kind of the same idea here in this game, where you have to have the Picto equipped and win 4 fights to be able to extract the Lumina, which is what they call the passive abilities in this game, and then be able to equip them on any character you want, so you don't have to pass the Picto around and learn with different characters. You learn it for the whole party at once, which is a huge quality of life improvement, I want to say.
So, just need a setup here again. Goodbye, Lune.
So really just take that fight for, a little bit of experience and money, but mostly so we can set up Lune at 1 HP again. Because she is our damage dealer at the moment.
It's time for Monako Station, or the last character of the party. The last, because it's not really an interesting character for this speedrun, but it's sympathetic character, so we're happy to have with her.
Late. Here we are. Monako Station.
Is that a Grundis? I knew it. They're real too.
Okay, we're just setting up here.
So I'll just go for combo attack on Dualisti.
Oh, I forgot one thing. There we go.
Let's go.
The Monako is a pretty easy fight, just kind of depends on what he does, how much time he will lose us.
Yeah.
Like, what we don't want to see is the relentless combo.
Yeah, the combo attack is pretty difficult.
Okay, dual attack is okay.
It's okay.
But because it also doesn't lose us that much time, which is nice.
My turn.
So just apply vulnerability with Verso and creates tight interruption. Yeah, it's pretty music. But sorry, don't have the time to listen him.
Fight is over. Yeah, Monako is a pretty easy fight to get through, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, did we get a recode? We did indeed get a recode, okay.
Yeah. Recodes are a pretty rare resource in the game and promise to reset your attributes and spells, teach spells. And here it's pretty useful for Lune because at this moment you don't really need to spend on critical rate because we arrive to 100% without invest front of this. And we go for Elemental Trick in really useful spells because Elemental Trick create I don't have the word for that, but critically create stains, yeah, the things we need for powerful lightning dance. So it's a one turn of setup instead of 2, so just time save. And we go for Stalact and the introduction of Gradient Attack.
You lazy old fart?
Yeah.
Verso.
Why aren't you using Gradient Attacks?
Yeah.
I don't need pointers from the one sitting on his lazy ass.
Exactly.
Very well.
You didn't teach them, did you? You lazy old fart. Very well.
Yeah, Monako is definitely a mood.
Yeah. Gradient Attack is so powerful because you just do the wrong attacks.
Happens.
Yeah. Gradient Attack, you need to have a full gradient charge for that, but you can do a use so powerful attacks, and you could do other things with your character after, so it's just 2 attacks on 1 turn. It's really strong.
Also, you know what? Because I feel like it, I think we should watch this cutscene actually.
Yeah.
Because it explains so much about Monako and his character.
Worthy friends.
Oh,
So yes, this will lose us a bit of time, but you know, it's in the estimate, so
okay.
I think you all need to witness this if you haven't seen it already.
What are you doing?
I just need the foot. Aha!
He transforms by collecting Nevron feet. Don't ask me how it works. I've never understood it.
Like, Monako really is like a very interesting character, and the name comes from one of the real-life dogs of one of the developers. But this exchange between Verso and Monako, they are best friends, like, says a lot when they get to it at the moment, so just listen to this.
We're heading for old Lumiere.
Okay, bye.
Hey, come on. Hey. Hey, look. I know we failed before, but look, you doofus. Don't you recognize her?
Of course I do.
Then you know what that means. This is our shot. It might be our only shot.
This is your only shot. Out of the question. I will never join you again.
There will be a lot of fighting, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's true.
There will be a lot of fighting.
Exactly.
Count me in then.
Good.
Like, you have to keep in mind, he's a gestural, and as we established earlier, gestrals love nothing else more than fighting. So if there is a lot of fighting to be had, you know, they just cannot resist. And again, the friendship between Monako and Verso is just something that you have to experience for yourself at some point.
Monako is also a really interesting character to use on a fight, but need some preparation because Monako copy attacks of other monsters are just not at the time on speedrun.
You can basically think of him as like the blue mage of the party, and you know, blue mage always need a special thing to be able to learn mobilities. And as we just saw, Monaco's thing is feet. So whenever he is in your active party and you kill an enemy, you can get, or he will collect their feet and gain new abilities. And that is the only way how you gain new abilities with Monako, because you know, with the other characters, you saw me use a flag to learn a skill. Monako doesn't have that. You really have to go ahead and collect all the feet if you want to make him useful, and that just takes too much setup in a speedrun setting for him to be worthwhile for the run, sadly. He is really good if you use him casually, though.
Yeah. So we arrive at Old Lumiere. It's the place of Lumiere, the city or the beginning of the game, where before the fracture, and we go here for find the heart of Paintress and pass the barrier. So could go to the Paintress because there is a barrier you block the path.
Threw us into the sea. We're lucky it did.
And here, Monako just a big mistake.
Like, he just joined the party and immediately screws up because he's so excited to have new friends.
So
and,
we have you have the split of the team. We have Lune, Ciel, and Monako group. On the other side, Mail and Verso. So with this group, you don't fight at all, in my memory.
Yes.
Just running or flying with Lune.
Now, one thing to have to keep in mind when routing this game is also, again, you know, we want to have our main damage healers at low HP values because of at Death's Door and Critical Moment and Berserk Slash in Verso's case. However, the game basically forces you into a camp and rest at that camp every time a major plot point happens, and that completely heals all of your characters. So basically what that means, whenever we finish any area, we then have to set up our low HP again in a fight somewhere. The only time this doesn't happen is between Monako Station and Old Lumiere. However, when you get into the boss fight in Old Lumiere, the game heals you up completely anyway, which is even worse, because then you can't set up your HP before the fight.
Yeah, this fight forced your team.
Also,
you don't have the choice.
So it's really the worst out of both worlds.
So here we retrieve Mile on Verso.
Where do you live in Lumiere?
above a bakery near the center. Angelique's Boulangerie. I ate there every morning.
Let's see where that random enemy spawns. It's a bit of a bad spot, so let's just shoot him to stun them. Okay, why?
We need to avoid lot of monster here, and it's pretty difficult, I think, on the Picto after this fight.
Oh yeah.
So stressful. The fight is not really interesting, just bashing the mob.
Yeah, so Verso ditches us here for unknown reasons, so we are now alone with Mael, so I really do not want to get in contact with any of the enemies here, because fighting them alone would not only be a huge time waste, it would also be very difficult to do. Because again, we are pretty underleveled, our speed stat is basically in the floor, so they would get like multiple turns before we get one. So we'd really drag things out, so...
So here you have 3 enemy and you need this Picto, so need to manage.
Oh, there we go. Honestly, I think I might just go and reload, because you can see like in the top left, like the turn order, Mael doesn't even show up anymore for untold hours.
Yeah.
It was really unfortunate because the guy that was on the furthest left or the furthest behind, he didn't really move that far. I'm not sure why, but kind of just camped where the Picto was.
Yeah, enemy movements are pretty erratic and unpredictable.
There we go, now he moved.
Okay.
There we go.
Fine.
It's kind of scary when this guy joins the party back there as well, which can happen if you aggro onto him for some reason. And then things get really dicey.
So this Picto is auto rush. Just apply rush on your character. It's really useful because increase your speed, and when you are under level, you need really a huge speed.
Just one thing to keep in mind: it only lasts for 3 turns, then it falls off because it just gives you the buff. It doesn't keep you like auto rushed, you know, the whole way through. I'm just gonna force a save here because you know a boss fight coming up, and like we said, like the party is set in stone here, and you get a full heal before, which is, you know, nice in a casual context, but it's really bad for the speedrun. So we really had to do some routing around this, and you know, Zero went above and beyond with setting up this wildfire on Lune here. Because she can't just survive this crit. Like, she has 990 HP, and, you know, a crit adds 50% more damage. So what we do here is we set up her attack power in such a way that she would deal 640 damage, I think. So if she were to crit, she would still survive it, but it would already put her into a death's door range. However, if she wouldn't crit here, we could then, when Mael's turn comes around, just use a healing tint on her, because she has inverted affinity on, and that would subtract another 30% health. So she would still survive and, you know, be in the range. It's a really neat setup that came together here.
2000 IQ strat,
Basically.
So here normally runner are 2 phases because at half HP invoke some
blossoms.
Blossom?
Flowers, I think.
Yeah, heal him, but here we need so damage, so you don't see the blossom in my memory, or maybe on bad fight, but never heal him. Don't respect Renoir one. No. So here we go for leadership. Leadership give attack power on other character, and here just lightning dance. And it's over.
Look at it! So yeah, it's a pretty neat setup. Oh yeah, we have... before we read the next... No, we can actually just go ahead and read the donation if you want to.
Yeah.
I would love to. Thank you so much. We have a $2 donation here from Cromperoy saying, Monako is me, for real. Thank you. I do want to remind you all, though, that even if you have a smaller donation like $2, that is still eligible for any of our polls or incentives. So please do remember that you can tie your donations in for those as well. Thank you.
yes, please go ahead and do put your donations towards any polls, targets, rewards, whatever we have. That would make the runs that, you know, those are tied to even that much more interesting. Like, we had some pretty cool things already, you know, happen during some of the runs during this event. And obviously we want to hit all of those to make the upcoming runs just as interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already interesting, but, you know, just this little bit more that they can be.
Yeah. So here, unfortunately, don't have the heart on Pinterest, so you need, as a pace, to kill 2 Axon for create a blade for broke the barrier. So we are on the first island with Axon, Visage, and the Mask Keeper. You can rush directly the boss here. We have 3 paths for broke mask and have easily fight, but we don't have the time here. But you go for a little pass because you need a Picto on, again, a setup with Lune and Verso.
Yeah, thankfully, you know, it doesn't even make that much of a difference in the speed run that we do not kill these mini bosses to, you know, make Mask Keeper easier. Because actually the abilities that he gains from the masks are pretty significant. You know, he gets double turns, he gets healed. The other one applies exhaust on your whole party, which makes it so that you cannot regenerate any AP anymore. That's a huge debuff. But yeah, in the speedrun setting, it really doesn't matter that much.
In speedrun, you just one-shot the second phase, so don't care about that.
It would take so much more time to go out of our way and actually kill these mini bosses than just, you know, grab this one Picto, go back to the plaza and go for the boss and kill him.
They seem so joyful. I'm almost jealous.
But yeah, these areas are labeled after joy, anger, and sadness.
Yeah,
and they really, you know, did a good job, like, differentiating these 3 areas if you walk through all of them.
Yeah, really good representation of emotion. So here we go for a little manuing for the fight 3 combs, and we the Picto we have pickup is really good too. I don't remember the name, but
hello.
But
Confident Fighter.
Yeah, Confident Fighter. Just increase your attack damage when you are low on health again. So it's
just real quick. This is one of Zero's favorite fights because, you know, he did the routing for this because we have to set up our HP again.
Yeah.
So what we do is Verso has, you know, inverted affinity applied, so he heals himself to kill himself. Lune uses Wildfire again and completely fails, and then CL is like, yeah, nah, I'm out with these idiots. Just move on and flees the fight.
Not have the time for this dumb.
These idiots, what are they doing? And yeah, while we are on our way to the boss, I think we have time for another donation.
Amazing, thank you. We got $25 here from Felicitus83, saying, for me, this is the gaming surprise of the last few years. Have fun, and please at least give Monako a few feats. He deserves them. Baguette!
Baguette!
I think my baguette is starting to fall apart.
Yeah.
These masks feel ominous.
So you have a really huge passage with a lot of replacement here, but it's really beautiful. I love this ambience here. It's a little enigmatic.
I mean, just all the areas, they just look, you know, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastical as well. But they like really nailed like all the art design on the areas that they wanted to go for.
He who guards truth with lies.
Exactly what it sounds like.
God, as in.
Like, I would say that this game is definitely, you know, a strong push for the whole argument, you know, that video games are art. And if that discussion ever comes up, I think a lot of fingers will point towards this game as an absolute example of exactly that statement.
Yeah, it's true. So we arrive at Visage. Again, a two-phase boss, excuse me. But you don't respect any of this phase. It's a pretty special because the late game boss are pretty more easier than the, the
really
first
are.
part. Because you have a lot of things on late game for broke the game.
Let's push forward.
Sorry, here just great stacks with Lune. Apply vulnerability with Verso, this is intervention on light intensity. And it's over. Oh,
Not quite yet, but
yeah,
nearly.
you need the counter, yeah, but...
The nice thing about Visage is he always goes for the Determination Mask on his first turn. So you always know which attack he is going to do here.
Okay, need a leadership here for boost AP again. And just prepare Lightning Dance for the second phase. Diversion and Lightning Dance. You need a second here. Mask Keeper are...
So these are basically the three masks that you could kill if you were to go to the end of the areas in Visage Island, but no. It's really not needed because this should be the only turn that he gets.
one mask per turn of the Mask Keepers. You only see the Hungry Mask for 2 turns instead of 1. So you just need to avoid his all attack. And normally just is fine.
Surely, yep. I felt
I'm
I felt
jinxing
that. I felt that was too early. But like we said, as soon as you do a single mistake in any of these fights going forward, it's basically a reset.
Yeah. You have no investment on defense or HP, so
Absolutely not.
you are under level, so it just instead kill. So here we go again. Hopefully the death is not punishment, is not a real big punishment. When you see a Dark Souls game with so it's pretty okay. Just repopping or do the fight again. It's okay. So boss are hard, but you can reset and reset. It's not a problem.
Depending on the damage you got on the counter, you don't need those 2 shots that I did. I want to make absolutely sure that I definitely push the face at this point. Because otherwise you are clearly in trouble. Okay, let's see what that does. I mean, to be fair, the attack where he attacks your whole group like that is probably the hardest one to avoid.
Yep.
But we'll see what he does.
With the pain twist. Okay, close my mouth.
Okay. Okay, there we go. He gets 1 more turn.
Take your shot.
Should be fine. Okay, there we go.
Nice. Okay. You can just finish the fight now. And goodbye, Mask Keeper.
Booyah!
Oh,
A baguette!
GG!
But the other thing is, you have items with which you can revive your characters. The problem is they get revived at 30% HP, which is, definitely outside of the Death Store damage bonus range. But it also is mostly outside of the critical moment crit buff range, because the problem is... let me just quickly do this menu. No, yeah. The problem is that it only really works when your characters have a multiple of 10 as their max HP, like, 1,000, 1,010, so on and so forth. Because if you get revived, it does 30%, but rounded up. So if you have any other number as sorry, menuing and doing this at the same time is hard. It rounds it up and it basically destroys that. So you're not actually getting 30% of your health, but a little bit above 30% of your health, which puts you above the threshold for a critical moment, and that kind of completely ruins the setup. So even if that we could revive our characters, it's just worth nothing because it wouldn't solve anything.
Yeah, and you don't have the XP bonus, so just sucks. So now you go to Siren, second action. For the information, you could go for Siren before Maskkeeper, but here we just skip all the phase of Siren with upgrade weapon of Lune. So it's very, very interesting to do Siren after Maskkeeper.
But the thing is, I think a lot of people, when they play this game casually, would say that Siren is probably easier than Maskkeeper the first time that they fight them, because, Maskkeeper has, a really hard second phase. The Maskkeeper itself, not Visage, Maskkeeper. Once you put him below 50% health, it gets really hard, because all the combos he does become longer, they become more damaging, and he gains a shield every time he hits one of your characters, which is just insane.
Yeah, there is a lot of pattern to teach with Maskkeeper.
And Siren is a bit more straightforward, but then again, with Siren, it's also the thing that if you kill the Tisseur, which is like a mini-boss in the area, it makes the fight against her easier. But once again, for the speedrun, we really don't care about this. We just leave him be. He can do what he wants in this little cave over there, because the ability that he bestows upon Siren never comes up in the fight the way we do it.
Yeah. Here in Unrestricted, we have a awesome glitch.
the U-foot skip.
Or we mount of the head of this platform, and you can just on out of bound, and you skip every displacement, because this...
You would probably land upon down here somewhere on one of these platforms that you can see down there, and you can just strip straight down to the boss.
Because this level is pretty long, honestly, and you couldn't platform adjust auto-scroller, so pretty annoying for auto-scroller, but it's really okay, honestly.
I mean, our glitch hunters have basically found an out of bounds or a warp or something for pretty much every main quest area in the game by now. There's literally barely anything left where these guys even go anymore. Which is, why the run is under an hour at this point.
Yeah, when I learn this category, just a reminder where I go here.
How does this work? What?
So here, every part of every character of the party is dead. So no, we can activate Lumina on all characters. So it's interesting here now to kill every character.
I think a lot of people use the enemies that we just fought for grinding purposes, because they're pretty easy to defeat, actually. They are flying enemies, so you have to use your character's free aim shots to kill them, because all of your other abilities will have a very high chance to miss them. However, they also don't have a lot of HP, and with the amount of damage that we can output at this point, if you, would already be a level a bit more, even though speedrun, they're pretty easy to defeat. But they also gain you a lot of experience and money and other things. So
it's the same,
really easy to farm.
The same case of Deminer at the beginning.
Exactly.
Really quick fight with the same amount of XP of other fights.
It's a really nice grinding spot, if you need it at this point. But obviously, in the speedrun, we really don't have the time for that. So we, don't do that, really. I mean, at the start, when we started routing this category specifically, we did fight all of these enemies just to master our Pictos. to be able to put them on more characters, but we then found out it's really not necessary. Like, we really don't need anything of that. Like, even we don't need the experience for any levels. Like, you could, if you did get hit during some of the boss fights leading up to this, and were still able to defeat them, and you missed out on some of the extra experience bonuses from the fight, you could take these fights to offset that to put you back on the experience route, so to speak. But really didn't get hit during the fights when I did them or when I defeated them, so I don't really need this. Like, everybody should be at the level that they, should be for the speedrun here.
This place is huge.
Yeah, it's actually like a pretty, nice looking area if you just look around. Like, it looks really grandiose.
Feels like home.
Yeah, really compact level with a lot of architecture. Yeah.
Now, again, it's just really so interesting how diverse like the landscapes in this game are. Like, every area like looks completely different from everything else that you have experienced before, basically.
And the lore of the game explains perfectly that.
Why it does look the way it does. Yeah.
So we arrive at Gissando. It's pretty.
Glissi.
It's literally hardest fight than Siren.
Yes. It's some kind of a mini boss, if you will, and it is so much harder than the boss fight. It's insane.
There is a different pattern of attack with Gissando, and the worst pattern is certainly the tail.
Slam.
It's really difficult audio or visual cue for this attack. Just kill it. When I go for this fight on training, just the first time I die each time.
I mean, honestly, I just pray that it doesn't use it. Which is not necessarily good for a speedrun, but yeah, it is what it is sometimes. But like we said at the start, like every runner of this has different pain points during the whole run from everybody else that you just have to, learn and overcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, down there he is. We'll do a quick menu beforehand to set up.
Okay, so pray for not see this attack.
Goes over there. Okay, that should be everything.
So here, obviously, we have 1 HP, so...
on everybody this time.
Just add.
So we literally won't survive anything.
I'll manage.
Let's push forward.
Also, damage is very tight in this fight. Like, you really need every single bit you can squeeze out of your characters here.
Depends of attack do Gissando. You need aim shot certain times for complete the damage.
Alright, what will it be, Glissi? What will it be? Okay, this is actually good.
Yeah.
Basically like the second best attack he can give you. So that is nice. Thank you, Glissi. Much appreciated. Just a good measure.
Let's push forward.
Okay.
I die. So be it. If I die, so be it.
Intermission. I think we're good on amount of damage.
This should kill pretty easy.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, like, really depends which attack Gissando attacks you with. Like you said, like the tail slam, it is so weird to parry. Like, you really have to parry every attack Gissando throws at you, otherwise you will not have enough damage to kill him there. And as soon as you put him underneath 50% health, he eats one of your characters and you lose them for the rest of the fight, so it's down to 2 characters. And it's really not great to do that. Also because it loses you a lot of time, because that eating animation just takes forever to resolve. And yeah, you need all of your characters to get through that. And the thing is, if he does the tail slam, like the parry cues, the timing for that is so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really not consistent in it, I have to admit that. Yeah. The head slam that you did is like the second best ability, because all of your characters counterattack it for a lot of damage. The next best one would be the ballet, or the best one actually would be the ballets, because that's just jumping attack counters, which are really easy.
It's really easy, yeah.
And it adds a lot of damage, so you always know.
And you not have counter animation now, because it's
it's
just jump counter. Yeah.
And the second worst ability is like the enchant, because the enchant only targets one of your characters. And then you deal less damage with your counter attack, so you might have to use some free aim shots to offset the damage that you are missing at that point.
She's even grander.
But yeah, now we have Siren. Siren should be way easier than Gissando, because she actually only ever gets one attack in. I just have to parry that one attack.
Yeah, it's always the same attack, so it's okay. The pattern is so difficult.
No, it's actually pretty easy, but you just have to not fail.
Yeah, obviously.
Let's carve a path.
Nice music, though.
Yeah.
Also, we do very specific attacks to damage her in a very specific way. Because you can kind of see this white stripe on her health bar left of the little shield icon. And we are trying to put her before that, so we don't want to cross that threshold, so to speak, with our own attacks.
For avoid Grand Ballet.
This is the attack she does. I have to just parry that. Okay. Perfect. And then with the counterattack, we want to push her below that threshold, because when we push her below that threshold, her dance becomes frantic. But that also means, because it is her turn now, it skips one of her turns, basically. And she doesn't try to enchant one of our characters. So that's another, just a little bit of a time save here that we are getting out of damaging her in this very specific way. And then we just go ahead and just completely nuke her. Because at this point in the game, like, all three of our characters are really good damage dealers.
Yeah. The gradient attack of Ciel
is insane.
Downs really good damage, because there is a lot of it, and overcap is not a problem.
And that is Siren.
Yeah.
A baguette!
So now you have defeated the T-Rexon, so you have the
barrier
the weapon for broke the barrier. So it's time for Monolith.
Yeah, we're actually getting towards the end of the game, huh? So far on the estimate. Oh my god, how could that ever happen? I mean, we're literally going to find the painters now.
Yeah. The marathon time.
This could be a PB, man. Huh?
Yeah. Surely when you go here, you're not annoying, because it's in the major part of time a good run, so it's okay.
Like I said, it's a pretty high estimate, because so much things can go wrong, and even though we watched a couple cutscenes and stuff like that, we're still gonna be so far on the estimate. This is ridiculously good run. But I think we also have time to read that donation to this game, and because it's just a little bit of walking here.
Perfect timing. We have $1 here from Game Freak 742.
Hey!
Saying, don't really know anything about this game, just here to show my support. I'm rooting for you, Aishma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, we have now the barrier breaker. You have broken the barrier to the painters. You can kind of see her, and more importantly, her feet, I guess, right there in front of us.
So, if there are Monako enjoyer, if this moment for you.
This is what you've all been waiting for. Because as we all know, Monako loves feet. So Monako will go ahead and fight the featress, as she's known in the community.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, this will literally be a solo fight coming up.
The reason because you go for Monako only here, it's because we now have investment on agility, so the character just have less turn to the fight, and the fight is just it's just a scripted fight. You need just to pass your turn.
Yeah, we literally just want our slowest character to go in this fight, so they get the least amount of turns and save us time.
So it's not a huge save time, but we'll take.
Well, yeah, there she is. There's the paintress, the one that paints all the numbers and kills all the people.
Yeah.
The big bad of the game, surely. Also, who lights all these candles? Like, man. Person who's busy. All right, Monako. Your time to shine.
Violence, yes.
Yes, a little bit of violence. Decent, thank you. That's exactly what I want here.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
Oh, really
not.
good, really good RNG. Yeah.
Yeah, she really does all the moves that I want her to do for this fight to go well. That is absolutely true.
Thanks for the work, Monako.
So yeah, basically, even if you try to attack her, like really nothing happens at this point. You can't defeat her, and you know, yada yada yada. Things happen. We are now inside the monolith.
Inside the
Yeah,
monolith?
inside on the monolith, you will see every environment
Why did it help
of
us
the Act
inside?
1 on the beginning of
right.
Act 2, but
Where?
it's pretty long because you just need to run until the
So dangerous.
summit.
She's up there.
What do you mean?
We need.
Yeah, so Glitch Hunter try to find a way to skip this moment because it's really long, but it's a little bit complicated, and we never find a way for the moment, and I don't sure we find that
The real
day, but
pictures.
we did that for the prologue, or no, we have something for the
Guess we
prologue.
head up then.
It's horrible, but we have something.
I mean, that's like the thing. Like, if you play this area casually, it's super great because, you know, as you said, it's basically like reminiscing all the areas that we have walked through, like all the main areas of the game that we've walked through, like Spring Meadows here, and then Flying Waters.
Need to know
what was
all
that?
pattern on the beginning of the game, so
Again.
it's a good reminder.
Well, it's like a really nice walk down memory lane, so to speak. The bad thing for the speedrun is just, you know, because we're not exploring here, we're not doing any of the fights, because, you know, they would just lose us time. It's just a lot of empty walking. So it's really not the most interesting area to get through on the speedruns. Like, literally just, I don't know. I don't want to say 10 minutes, but it kind of feels like 10 minutes of just walking around here. And, you know, you have a couple of scenes that add a little bit of context and story, and oh my god, I can't see
Teaching our
anything here.
children to paint,
To the story, which is, you know, great casually, but in a speedrun, it's just, oh my god, can we get on with this, please?
Yeah, it's just a pretty stressful at certain moment because we have to dodge enemy, or certain parts of the environment can block you, and you could just take a certain fight. On this scenario, you just have a Monako on your team, so if you take a fight, it's so shit.
That's not good. It's not good. Let's put it that way. But yeah, now here we're on the Flying Waters area, and you can just kind of see like which room exactly they copied here. But yeah, obviously all these enemies are pretty deadly. I definitely do not want to get into a fight with a single one of them. I mean, we could probably just run away from them because we have First Strike equipped on all of our party at this point, but yeah, it's just a stupid time loss, so you really don't want to take that if you want. So here we are in Ancient Sanctuary, or Tainted Sanctuary, as it's called.
And we have three enemies are just on this zone, Clair and Obscur.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You actually meet them here, yes.
Yeah.
Clair and Obscur. And Clair Obscur.
And the fusion, Clair Obscur. And the pattern of this enemy are really rude, honestly.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Like when I started fighting them, like when I was playing casually, I used Phantom Stars a lot with Verso, and then I had a rude awakening fighting the Clair enemies and finding out that they are immune against light or even absorb it, and I was like, ah, great. What do I do now? Because yes, the game does have, you know, elemental affinities and weak spots and absorptions and all that, even though it doesn't really play much into the speedrun, I want to say. Like at certain parts we make use of it, but not a lot, at least in this category.
Yeah.
Who is she fighting?
It's just there is ability just go with in mind this information, but no played around that.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, in other games where you like specifically seek out the elemental affinities of enemies and, you know, make use of them, like for example in the Shin Megami Tensei series or something like that. It is still in this game, but it plays a bit of a back role, I want to say. I mean, if you go into the optional content, stuff like that becomes a little bit more pronounced, but also not that much. Usually you're gonna be okay with using whatever.
Okay,
really.
so in this part, we are horrible for me.
Yeah.
We have a gatekeeper here.
Like, dodging this fight really is the worst.
The body on the ground are pretty difficult to.
We made it! Woo!
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, dodging or jumping over this little indentation in the hill there is just, it's the worst ever. Like we said, the movement in this game can be a little bit jank, because if there are a lot of objects on the ground, yes, they all have collision boxes, so you can get stuck on them, and yes, you will get stuck on them. So the movement can be really tricky in certain parts of the game. Oh yeah, this is the second to last area, one more area to walk through, and then we will have, well, two of the hardest bosses in the game, really. More or less back to back. And I really mean it this time.
Yeah.
You're inside her mind.
In casual gameplay, you beat the first one, you are, let's go, I pass, and just after, oh shit.
I can read it.
I'm just explaining the next boss a little bit before we get there already. He is special in the way that once you get him underneath 50% health, he will immediately get a turn after you. Like, he will, no matter what your speed is and AJ is, he will immediately get a turn. And when he gets that turn, he will heal to full health and enter his second phase, which is very deadly. There we get hit a slew of new abilities that hit your whole team, and you really don't want to mess with that. However, he is not health gated. So if you manage to just, power through his whole health bar in one turn, mind you, you can still win the fight in one turn.
Yeah.
And that is basically what a lot of the routing in this category has come around. Okay, how can we deplete half of his whole health bar in one turn? At first, we thought it was completely impossible, because it's about, I want to say 190,000, how much is it? 185,000 health he does have. And we are capped at quadruple 9 per hit. So we, at first, thought, okay, we can't do this because we do not have any attack that deals enough hits, even a damage cap, for us to, one-shot him at that point. And then we theocrafted a little bit around, and it turns out that when you get a gradient, or when you do a gradient attack, even though he jumps ahead in the turn order by that much, you still get the second turn. And that is basically what we rounded around and see, okay, who basically does enough hits, or who can hit that to make that happen. And we found, okay, CL does that, because her Shadowbringer gradient attack does 10 hits. Sealed Fate does another 7, so we were at 17, but we needed about 20. So we were 3 hits short, and I was like, oh my god, okay, we still can't do that. So we thought, okay, we needed to do 2 gradient attacks back to back, because that would be 20 hits and just enough to push that, but it's really hard to set that up. It works, but it is more effort than what we do now. Because now we bring Lune into the mix, who has a very interesting ability, which we will see in just a moment here.
But yeah, skip this phase is so huge of term of time. Because we have cinematics, we have
cinematics as well.
Renoir attack 2 times on each turn. It's so annoying.
We really do not want to see it. Okay, just making absolutely sure. Now we learn this. So Stormcaller. Stormcaller is a very interesting ability.
Yeah. Interesting ability, but if you would run on glitches, never use this ability against Mask Keeper. Because there is strange interaction and just keep the phase 2 of the boss.
Yep. You basically one-shot Mask Keeper if you use that in a very specific way. Alright, so this is once again a very specific setup. So what we want to do is we want to get him as close to 50% health as we possibly can. Right, I have the wrong party order. Excuse me.
You don't have set your ability. Yeah.
No, I have. It's just I need the.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the right.
For some reason. The thing is with First Strike, if First Strike triggers, it completely ignores the speed of your characters, and it just goes from left to right in your party order. So I had Lune as my first character on the far left, and that was wrong. I needed Verso there, so he can use leadership to give the other ladies some AP to use their abilities.
Not looking good.
Also, great music.
Oh yes. So go for Stormcaller, and the effect of Stormcaller it's go for one lightning just of each attack of the character of the team, and with lightning dance proc of each hit. In my mind, it's that. So it's a huge increased damage of the attack. So you will see the base damage attack at the left and the damage of Stormcaller at the right.
Oh, not this one. Okay,
nice.
This is one of the attacks that I'm really bad at dodging.
The timing it's pretty difficult. Not scale on the sound of the game.
So we're gonna go for headshots here because they deal more damage. I want to get him to a specific point in his HP. Okay, this should be here. We can use Berserk Slash. Okay, we should be good here. So I'm just dealing as much damage as I can to make absolutely sure that he dies, because I don't want to have to do this again.
Okay. For Gradient attack? Perfect!
Alright, coming up is probably the hardest boss in the run, and the absolute run killer, because she is, you know, right at the end of it, like basically, literally. It is the Paintress, and you actually have to go for parries and counter attacks. And as we said, I have a 9-frame window to get all of these parries in, and you have to get a lot of them. And if anything goes wrong, you go right back to the start, and even if you do it fast, it's about roughly a 5-minute fight. So it can completely kill your run, like so far into it. So I'm gonna call for a bit of a serious time here. You will just see how it works.
The good news is this fight is a predictable fight. Paintress already do for the same attacks at the same times, so you prepare at this attack. You know it in advance. But the patterns are really difficult.
That is what was wrong. Okay. And just double checking. Let's see if everything. Yeah, because I equipped the pick though at the wrong spot, so I'm just double checking that she actually has everything. Okay. Yeah, okay, should be fine. Okay, cool.
Better than do a mistake,
Like they were in the wrong order there for some reason. I don't know why. I probably equipped in the wrong order earlier. So, all right. So the Paintress.
Okay.
Not looking good.
So he begins with a star attack. It's a 7-star, which attack a random character of the team. But there is a little delay after the 4th star. It's a pretty difficult timing. Nice. Okay.
I think I'll improvise.
So now it's a gradient attack. It's pretty free. This attack is really easy to dodge.
Also, all the damage that we do is very specific because we want to push her into the next phase at a very specific attack.
You need the black hole for attack power before the second phase. Or can do the good attacks.
Oh, that was too late. Well,
Oh, sorry.
I don't think I've ever failed that parry because it's literally the easiest parry out of all of them.
I never, never missed.
Well, this never happened before.
Yeah. Jinx again, yeah. It's my fault. So, sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Like I was literally locked in a little bit too hard that I wanted to make absolutely sure that I parried that attack, and it just waited too long. But you can kind of see how you know, you can lose a lot of time here because you know you do all of that setup during the first turn with all of the characters, which just you know you have to go through again and again and again to do the fight correctly.
Yeah, you have a lot of things to think, so you need to think and also parry with your muscular memory. So it's pretty difficult. Yeah.
Let's push forward.
How cruel of your
Okay,
father
one
to
meter.
use you like this.
Watch out.
Waiting.
Well, thankfully, we don't have to parry this one.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, he didn't get attacked at all.
I'll manage.
Like, you need C rank at least to be able to use leadership.
Okay, set up starts.
Let's try this again.
Done.
There we go.
Nice. Okay.
Who are you supposed to be?
Okay, Chroma Wave is good.
I'll manage.
And just rest a black hole for 5 win.
Well, the next attack took me the longest to actually learn the timing as well. So we put her very close to pushing her into phase 2, but you know, not with this attack. We want to push her off of the counter attack of this one. Too early. Yeah. That is like the thing that I was afraid of, you know, that you get this far ahead and then, you know, nerfs and everything can get a little bit too, because this is literally the attack that killed B the most, without a doubt, because the timing is a little bit off, I want to say. Like, it's basically 5 attacks of this. Is like a fast, a slow one, a fast one, and another slow one. And it can just, that little bit of difference in timing can just throw you for a loop.
Let's push forward.
Pretty difficult, but this attack, it's attack all the characters, so you can stack a lot of attack power points. So it's really huge. You need this attack.
How cruel of your father to use you like this.
Oh god. Yeah, this is what happens when you start to, you know, lose the concentration at this point a little bit. That you just keep making one mistake after another, and you just have to, you know, get out of it again. The good thing is, you know, even if we go a bit overestimate at this point, it doesn't really matter because it's the last run on stream 2 for the day.
Yeah.
So we basically can be here all night. Now, I really don't want to be here all night. I mean, it would be kind of cool to play this game more, but...
Yeah, I could make my bed here. It's
It's cozy stream hours.
Time to take risks. Not looking good.
Alright, let's do this.
How cruel of your father to use you like this.
Careful now.
Take your shot.
Brunette, careful.
Ready to evade.
Shield incoming.
Okay. Better?
Last ditch effort. Worth it.
That hurts. My die, so be it.
Do you understand what you've done? Shoot him.
This buff attack of Ciel is so powerful, just 3 buff on one time. Okay.
Last ditch effort.
Let's push forward.
No, never. Till the end. Your fate. The sea.
Just try it.
You can't betray Verso like this.
Nice. Okay.
Second phase.
It's good for the first phase. In my opinion, the first phase is most complicated than the second one. Yeah.
Danger!
Renoir can grieve however he likes, but I get to grieve my own way.
Okay, we can see we have full-on attack power on every character. So we want that for the phase 2.
Maximum damage. Last ditch effort.
So be it. Let's pay.
Okay, I just have to survive these 2 turns, and the run is basically over at this point.
Yeah.
I have to parry the first 2 hits of the brush, and then I can just dodge the rest. Okay. This is literally the last attack an enemy gets on this run.
Okay. In the fire. Is Verso still alive?
Okay,
Nice.
we're home free.
Okay, just set up now.
Lightning dance!
Now if anything goes wrong, it's on me.
Normally, Paintress have a cinematics when fall to mid HP, but here I think we skip completely this phase.
Yeah, she would transition into her next phase if she were to get a turn. But she doesn't get a turn. Now the fight isn't over yet. We still have to go through a 3rd phase, but that is basically...
Just a cinematic.
Yeah, it's more a cinematic thing. She doesn't even attack you anymore here. Oh, please don't heal Verso. Please don't heal Verso. Thank you. It doesn't really matter if she does. It just makes the fight go on just a little bit longer. But yeah. I mean, the fight is basically over at this point. Okay, cool. We did it! Baguette!
And it's the end of phase Act 2.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? We defeated a Paintress, so, I mean, game should be over, right? I mean, that was the great thing that we set out to do. She doesn't paint anymore because she's literally dead.
But maybe finally Paintress is not the real bad person?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh.
She actually was doing good? What? Yeah, without going into it too much, this is basically the part of the game where it, like, pulls back the curtains and explains what is actually going on. And it's kind of funny to see, you know, people start playing this game and all of them have their own theories. Okay, what is actually happening? You know, what I'll see a lot is that, okay, there's some kind of time travel going on because the white-haired man kind of looks like an old Gustav at that point. So there's something like that. A lot of people are running with this theory, but I haven't met a single person who was able to accurately predict what was actually, you know, going on in the background. I'm trying to skip through all of this as quickly as possible, so it doesn't get spoiled too much. But, you know, obviously, this is speedrun, I can't skip the whole scene, so you will see something that's going on here.
Honestly, this game is pretty interesting at make down casually 2 times because there is a lot of reference in the other act when you knew all the history of the game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, just, you know, if you don't understand what is happening here, don't worry about it. It's a lot of story stuff. Go play the game.
Yeah, but for the speedruns, major interesting things to know, it's mile unlock abilities, pretty stupid.
Yeah. Like especially this one.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing that you really have been waiting for. And you are finally able to break the damage limit.
Yeah.
You know, as you saw, a lot of our abilities, you know, were capped at quadruple 9 so far. And now we have a Picto that allows us to break that limit. And it allows us to do a stupid amount of damage. And I'm gonna tell you about this. I said it before. The fight against the Painters was the last fight where I had to worry about an enemy attacking me.
Yeah.
Because from now on, I will just literally one-shot everything.
Yeah. We
it's like you know, keep in mind it's a speedrun. You know, we didn't even go out of our way to pick up, you know, more things or something. I am completely underleveled and whatnot, and you know, it's still possible because it's so broken.
Yeah. It's really stupid because you are on the current patch and you are a patch who reduced for 40% the damage of Stendhal, and you one-shot all the enemy. But there is it's for that with old patch is just stupid because you need zero setup, just press
just
the
use that
attack
one ability and everything just dies.
It's finished, yeah.
I mean, it was... Excuse me, a lot of people that played this game casually probably know the ability that we're talking about here because at one point or another, everybody has used it to get rid of an, you know, especially demanding or gruesome enemy. I know that as soon as I saw what Simon was able to do in his third phase, I was like, nope, I'm out of here. You are going to die with that one. I'm not going to bother learning you. And, you know, everything else as well, basically.
So here you need to return at Lumiere.
Yeah. Before we do, though, I think we just got a donation, so before we get into the finale of the game, let's go ahead and hear that real quick.
Let's do it. We got $5 here from Techie saying Renoir did nothing wrong.
True. True. Can definitely wholeheartedly agree. I mean, that's like the one of the strengths that this game has with its storytelling is it has villains, or you can understand every character's motivations and where they're coming from, and nobody is really like the villain in this.
There's no bad side. It's
exactly. You can understand what everybody is trying to do with what they're trying to do. I mean, they're going to extreme lengths and measures to achieve their goals, but you can definitely see where they're all coming from and how they came to the conclusions that they came from. That is like really the great thing about the storytelling in this game. You know, it's not like I want to say your typical RPG where, you know, at the end of the game, like the villain that you've been chasing for the whole game just turns out, oh, he actually was only the henchman of an evil god entity that has now been awoken, and you fight that and the story is over. I mean, you're still kind of fighting God in a way at the end of this, but it's a lot more humane, that makes sense.
For me, the end is pretty huge for the history, but disappointed about the fight because you can do a lot of side quests at this moment, and if we don't go directly at this moment at the end of the game, you just atomize the last boss.
Like that was really the problem that I had, you know, because I was one of the players that, okay, I'm in Act 3, Esqui can fly now, I can go wherever I want. Also, awesome music.
Yeah.
And I did all the side quests, and at the very end I went here and faced the final boss, you know, and you know, the world is literally at stake, and I just one-shot him, and like all this emotional build-up just kind of fell a bit flat for me, I have to admit. Not that it's really much better in the speedrun, because I'm basically doing the same thing with very fewer means, but anyway, let's just go ahead and enjoy the music a bit here, because it's just absolutely amazing what they did. And I set the mood.
Yeah. Oh, I hurt this monster. He broke 2 or 3 in my PV because I don't
You have to
jump
make
correctly.
sure you get this jump right here to get enough distance, otherwise he will catch you. And it's a monster you cannot run away from. You can't flee, you have to fight him. That's absolutely horrible.
The Opera House.
And for the French people, there are obviously a lot of reference of city of Paris, not
you
just the Eiffel Tower.
I was going to say, you can literally see the Eiffel Tower in the background there. Looks a bit bent out of shape, but, you know, it happens.
Like Axon's their papa's creations. Not
Little
Claire's.
skip here. Whoop. It saves like a second or so. It's really
Interesting. Yeah.
no big deal if you don't get it. But I think Zero discovered that and he was very proud of that discovery. Because out of all the routing things he did, he was pretty sure this will stay in no matter what. Okay, we got a bit of menuing coming up here again. So make sure we don't mess it up. CL gets combo attack. Don't need to swap an auto rush. And then Mayel gets the good stuff. So the menuing isn't quite done yet. We just do it in 2 parts because the other part is at the flag that we get to.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of more optimal if you do a menu from the or start menu while your characters are rolling on the ground, because it saves, you know, a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So we want to buy up to 10 of the polished chroma because we need them, and then up to 14 of the resplendent ones because we haven't really upgraded our weapons in a long while, and obviously we need a bit more firepower because you know it's the last boss of the game. So he is Trixie.
So yeah, I doesn't know totally your strat, but because I don't run on this patch, so
you will be surprised, I hope.
Oh, text Tendal too. Oh, incredible.
Yeah, okay, that really is not a surprise. It's more about how we use it. Yeah, there. So, like I said, I don't have to worry about any enemy attacking me anymore. The last boss is literally a menu, and this was the menu. So now we literally just go to the final boss, say hi, and we don't necessarily kill him in 1 turn, but he will not get a single turn. I can say that.
We need to defeat them fast.
Oh, yeah. There is pretty hard pattern, so if you can avoid that.
But he has, like, if you let him get turns, obviously he has a lot of attacks and a lot of really hard to dodge attacks. I mean, before we do that, we have to get through this one. We are still not sure if this is intentional or not, because this kind of looks like it's a boss fight you have to do. But you don't. Like, you can literally go ahead and run away from this fight, and the game is none the wiser. We don't know if this is really intentional or not, because, again, it looks like it should be a mandatory fight, but it isn't. So we allow it that players can flee from it during glitchless.
Yeah. But last chance permits to set up your HP, so...
yeah, but we don't need to. That's the fun thing.
And the chroma we need to bring back Lumiere.
I mean, no, we did. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, we did use the last chance ability on Mayel, because, again, we want her to be in... at death's door range, yes. Sorry.
No problem.
But yeah, if I set up everything correctly, this will be a pretty short fight against the boss here, so... let's see.
Ready.
That's lucky.
So we actually once again have to control all our damage here and just watch the damage number when it appears on screen. Again, so far, quadruple 9 was the highest we could deal. Intentionally filling the second part, and yeah, 750,000, there you go.
It sounds stupid, yeah.
And here's the tricky part. Like, we interventioned Mael again, so we can use a gradient attack. He has very little HP, so he's about to enter his second phase, basically. As you can see, you know, he had about like 12,000 left. We dealt more than that. So we now have defeated his first phase, but we still have our turn because we used the gradient attack.
Oh, so you skip the cinematics, yeah, it's that. Yeah.
So what happens is normally the bosses get the first turn or the first go when they go to the second phase. But since we use the gradient attack, we go again, so we can use Stendhal again. And that literally kills him. The downside of that is we still have to watch this animation because you cannot skip it. The fight will not end before he has done that. So you can literally just sit back and enjoy the scene.
Yeah, but there is no make sense.
Like, he's literally dead, you know. I mean, yeah, the game says, you know, he has a little bit of HP, but the fight is over at this point. Like, he doesn't do anything anymore. This is not time yet, by the way, because there's still a little bit happening, but we are just about done with this. Music is good, though.
Yeah. Goodbye. Nice French.
Not really, but thank you.
So, you would go for the fastest ending or your preferred ending? Okay.
I would really like to go for my preferred ending because, spoilers, there's actually another fight coming up. Do get ready on time, though. Because, yeah, there is some more story stuff happening here, and this is like the really hard hitter. But yeah, I will go with what I consider to be the bad ending because it is the faster ending for the speedrun simply because of the Stendhal ability that you saw me use there. So, yeah. I mean, no, we don't even use Stendhal. What am I saying? We just literally even fail the QTE. You don't have to do this. And get ready on time and time. GD. We don't want to see this. This is just that. Figure out yourselves what happens here. And yeah, that was Clair Obscur Expedition 33. A little bit over estimate, but you know, we had a little bit of bad luck. We also watched a couple of cutscenes. We had a bit of fun with this, so I think it was still a pretty good showing.
Yeah, on Paintrace is really weird. So,
yeah, Paintrace can definitely be really weird. Like I said this before when we had a couple interviews during the event with other people. Like, it is really nice, you know, as a runner, if you show like really the best the run can be, but I think it makes it a bit more exciting for the audience if you have a couple problems with it, because it really goes to show, you know, how much work goes into a speedrun like this. So, you know, even if it wasn't the most clean run, I'm still pretty happy with what we had.
Yeah.
Any shout-outs from you?
Just Clair Obscur community in general. If the speedrun of this game interests you, you have a Discord with a lot of guide, lot on all category, lot of people with all knowledge of this speedrun. It's very active because the game is really recent. There's a lot of people, so just enjoy the game with us if you could.
Yeah. Again, special shout-outs to the community. You guys are awesome. We are always like totally flabbergasted how many people are in this community right now. It is absolutely a blast. Special shout-outs to Zero Lead, who basically came up with, I don't want to say necessarily most of what we did in the routing here, but he really is the one that put it all together and like really drilled down on the nitty-gritty, and we are all following his example with the route. And yeah, special shoutouts to all the runners of the game. You are amazing. Keep up with the good work, and I can't wait to see this game being run at, well, basically every speedrun event on the sun, basically, because yeah, you can definitely see this game at basically every marathon, I would say, in the very near future. So yeah, also thanks, of course, to ESA for having us here. This was a very late addition to the schedule. This was initially not even part of the schedule. It just got in because another runner was not able to make it to the event, and then, you know, they saw that I was running the game, was reaching out to me because I was here anyway. So I was like, yeah, sure, I can show off this wonderful game to you all. Absolutely, no problem. And yeah, here we are. Thank you so much for the audience for being here.
Yeah.
Baguette.
And thank you for the run, obviously.
Thank you. And I think we also got a donation to close it all off.
We sure do. I do want to wrap it up with $10 here from Gustav saying, for those who come after.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is like basically the motto of all the expeditions, because, you know, they've sent so many expeditions out there that all failed and they always kept on going. You know, just as we are keeping going on in our fight against Alzheimer's disease. So, you know, please keep your donations coming and to help us, you know, raise more money for charity so we can go ahead and build Alzheimer just we did beat the painters and so much more.
Yeah.
And with that, yeah, I guess let's close it out with For Those Who Come After.
For those who come after. Pour ceux qui viendront après.